Good morning and welcome to another session of Facebook Live Tuesdays Tour. Today we're coming to you from Ross Ade Stadium. So it's John Sautter along with April Holeiter from your Purdue Alumni Association, and we'd like to highlight the stadium and have a look at the pavilion, kind of the exclusive seating areas and the meeting parts of Ross Ade Stadium. We're coming to you the week before the Iowa game, so we're excited to have the Hawkeyes coming in, although in the interest of being up good information for you, this is a recording. So unfortunately you're not going to be able to give us your live comments, which we always love, but we have a lot of travel time in between the areas we want to show you, and so to stay within our allotted time, it's going to be a little bit of a recording. So I must tell you that we, especially April, are coming off the buzz of the Ohio State win just a few days ago. And so we're still enjoying that. But we want to highlight this magnificent facility for you. We'll be talking about the history of Ross Ade Stadium. We're actually going to look into the different club levels and end up in the media area and have a nice view of the field at our impressive Ross Ade Stadium. So now and again, we're on the west side of the stadium. This is the elevator, this is the entrance where the folks who are fortunate enough to be in those seats, this is where you kind of come into. And so we thought it'd be a nice opportunity to kind of give you a look on the inside. So we're now going to make our way on into the inside of the facility and talk about the seating levels, the history, and all those sorts of things. So here we go, inside Ross Ade Pavilion. So here we are in the lobby, and fittingly enough, on one wall we have a nice history and portrait of George Ade, and the other side David Ross. And a little bit of the history is this facility opened up in 1924 thanks to George Ade and David Ross. The story is that one day they were walking through a meadow that was here. This was all farmland and wooded area, but they saw this little depression and they thought this would be a great place to have our own football stadium. You know, Purdue's football team actually started playing in 1887, so we'd been playing over 35 years before they got the thought of, we need, you know, an upgraded facility. And so in 1922 to 1924 is when they actually started building the facility. And so I have a nice photograph. This is when they're actually building. This would be the east stands of the stadium. And you might notice it's horse-drawn wagons carrying the dirt away, that sort of thing. So it was quite the labor-intensive thing to be able to come up with put the stadium together back in those days. And originally it had 13,500 seats. It's been added on to many times over with an additional facilities to accommodate spectators as well as players, as well as media and all those sorts of things. And that's what we're going to have a look at today. So here we are in the lobby. This is where you would arrive and either get your tickets or show your credentials, and you get on these elevators. And so that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to go up to the Shively Club. Shively Club is up on the 3rd floor. So we're going to go up there, and it's a recording, and so we'll end right now, and I'll see you up on the 3rd level. Okay, welcome back. We're now on the 3rd floor, 3rd level in the Shively Club. The Shively Club is the first level that you can be a part of, and you'll get a chance as you look around just to see the nice space they have here. In fact, April and many of us have been to receptions and to celebrations, weddings, just a variety of activities can kind of take place on these different levels, and this is one that I suspect might be used the most often for a variety of events and meetings. Even you can have professional meetings because of its unique location. The Shively Club itself is around $1,200 a seat or so. That's a ballpark figure. And for that, you're inside, and there's you have the availability of food and beverage all up and down the floor. You can stay inside. There's high-top chairs for watching the game. Or with the Shively Club, you can actually go outside. And April will get a nice shot of some of the seats that are outside. So for those that are interested kind of in the best of both worlds, you can be inside and outside, back and forth, as you interact with friends and hear the game and you're a part of the action. And I can't be at the Shively Club without telling you its namesake, and that's It's Dick Shively, Richard Shively. Dick Shively was a 1941 graduate, School of Science. And Dick Shively, as he was going to school, worked for WBAA as a student and did a lot of play-by-play, as a matter of fact, from Ross Ade Stadium, and really got an interest in the whole media world and got involved with the media. And so in different parts of the country, he was involved with media. Locally, he actually ended up owning what is now WLFI, the television station. Had a different name then, but it got changed over when CBS became an affiliate, and was quite involved with media and a huge supporter of the Purdue sports program, and gave a variety of gifts to the university. And because of that, the athletic department wanted to make this his namesake, as well as our media center. We're going to go up and see the media center, our active media center during games. That's named for Dick Shively also. Just a great guy. Friends of mine have played golf with him, and just a nice guy to be with. And we're proud to have his name on this kind of facility. So we hope maybe you'll consider this at some point, and maybe have access to it at some point. A great spot to watch the game from. So we're on the third level. Now we're going to go up a couple. We're going to go up to the fifth floor, to the Buchanan level, and we'll see you up there. Okay, well, we're back. We're now on the fifth level in the Buchanan Club. Buchanan Club, we've come up from third level to fifth level. This is another higher level, obviously, but has, again, very nice seating area for during the game. But again, for receptions and gatherings and professional meetings, wedding receptions, weddings, all those sorts of things. And I can tell you, it's used quite often for Purdue students, particularly those who are Purdue fans. They love to come here, but even people from the community and companies from the local community will come over for meetings here, because you can have a lot of inspirational sports themes going. So we're in the Buchanan Club. This level is enclosed seating, so there's really no outside noise per se, and you can wander around here quite often. Former athletes will show up, Leroy Keys, Drew Brees on exception, and some of the other athletes will show up and interact with the fans, or you can sit in your assigned seat and watch the field out there. The going rate up here is around $3,400 per seat or so, but again, with that comes food and beverage that's available throughout the game. It's just another level of enjoyment. The Buchanan Club, I can tell you, is named for DeWitt Wheeler Buck Buchanan. Buck Buchanan is a 1998 graduate in mechanical engineering, and his history, he has 1898. Thank you, April. 1898, and he has a great history because 1898, our football program was really in his infancy. He was in mechanical engineering, and he did a lot of work with the coal mines in southern Illinois, and had access to coal miners and their kids, and he actually got into the recruiting habit, being a Purdue grad and a big sports fan. And so back then, fans could get very involved with recruiting students. And so he started sending a lot of these young, burly folks to Purdue. There are some that claim that maybe he did more recruiting, got more athletes for one person maybe than anybody ever in Purdue history. But because of that, the athletic program was very indebted to him. And so when we started having press boxes, and we started having special seating areas for that sort of thing. In fact, the press box before this one, they had a Buchanan Club, and that was for the big supporters of athletics. So when they added this on in 2003, this was part of the huge addition to the stadium, where they did a variety of upgrades, including the concourse, where we added a variety of food concepts. One of the biggest additions were the number of restrooms, particularly the restrooms for women. A lot of things happened between 2001 and 2003 with that $70 million addition. And this is one of the finest examples, I think, of the thinking that went into it. And they used the name Buchanan, Buck Buchanan, for it. So just an excellent facility that's appreciated by all those that use it and come up here. We're now going to kind of make our way out. And the entryway here has some unique signage that I want to make sure you Purdue fans get a chance to see. It's probably one of the best collections of the success of their Purdue football program, because at the entryway here, we have posted all the Big Ten Conference championships Purdue has won. We have all the Boilermaker Bowl games, all the appearances that we've had in all the bowl games. And the old Oaken Bucket, we like to keep track of the Oaken Bucket and the P's and the I's here. So what a great summary to have as you would arrive and come into the Buchanan Club. Great facility, a lot of spirit coming out of here. So now we're going to make our way down the hallway actually to one of our luxury suites, and we'll see you right down there. Okay, well, welcome back. We have just now come down from the Buchanan Club on the 5th level outside one of the luxury suites. So they're on this side, but I wanted to have April give you a sense of the beautiful panorama that we have on this Tuesday morning as the leaves are starting to change. This view in itself makes it all worthwhile, just kind of being up here to see the campus from this angle, and the water tower you're all familiar with. In fact, just below it over there through the trees, we were at Slater Center last week. You may recall our last show from over there. Then a nice view of the housing complex and the red brick motif the university has continued to use for its buildings. And a red tree, just a great view. We're now going to make our way actually into one of the luxury suites, and it's the Purdue Alumni Association suite. And so this is the suite where the Alumni Association hosts special guests, and those are folks who are special to the Alumni Association for some reason, either donor cultivation or marketing, or club leadership, or club officer, board of director, any number of those reasons. We bring them into our suite. And having been here just 2 or 3 times, April's been here once, haven't you, April?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very nice. Dessert cart is the best. The
dessert cart that they bring around at halftime is probably the best. But during the game then, there's beverages and food out on the counter that's available. We have 2 TVs. One is on. One typically is ESPN. The other one is the game. But it's obviously the view is what you're coming up for here. And this suite has 18 seats. 18 seats, and you might be curious as to the cost. A suite like this with 18 seats goes for about $48,000 a year. $48,000 a year or so. And so that's a ballpark figure or so. And I think they have around 30 or so luxury suites that are available. Just a great view down through all the suites, and you can see the field. And again, I must admit, this is the scene of our victorious win over Ohio State just a few days ago, even though you're seeing this maybe a week later. But what a scene it was to have all the fans down there. April and her husband and 3 kids were in 10,000 people down on the field celebrating that victory. You know, there's no greater feeling for a Purdue sports fan than being on there after one of those excellent wins. So again, just a wonderful facility that we have available for the Alumni Association that we use periodically, you know, for all the games. And the folks in the office want to make sure I highlight the Boilermaker Ball that's coming up in February. The Boilermaker Ball this year down in Indianapolis. You want to make sure you're a part of that. It's always a fun occasion every year for the hundreds and hundreds of folks who turn out for that. Staff put a lot of time and effort into it, and so we hope you'll consider that. So that's the luxury suite. We're going to pause now, and we're going to go up one more level, and that's up to the 6th level, and that's where the active media floor is located, and we're going to see what that looks like. So we'll see you up there. Okay, we have arrived at the 6th level, the Purdue Shively Media Center. And so this is really a very active place during the games with all the radio, TV, the variety of things that are going on during a game are all happening at this level. Not many folks get to this level, so this is your exclusive look at the 6th level. You know, in saying that, I really have to share with you a picture. This is a photograph from homecoming, October of 1926. So it gives you an idea of what the stadium looked like back then, with east and west seating, very minute media area. The north end still isn't finished over yet, that sort of thing. And so with the variety of additions that we've had, we have really come a long way to really a state-of-the-art, one of the better stadiums, I think, in the country in terms of a fan experience. But the media center, this is where the game comes to you. And so you start seeing, first before we leave, I have to mention one of our favorite photos here with one of our favorite athletes, Drew Brees, who just set another record, I think, over the weekend with 500 and some touchdowns now and that sort of thing. We're going to work our way down to the active media center where they work, but you can see some of the designations for each of these suites up here. So the home coaches are here. The visiting coaches, I can tell you, are 2 suites down, so we keep them separated. The Joe McConnell radio booth, so Tim Newton and the gang, Pete Quinn, they're in this particular booth. Auxiliary radio, other radio stations are here. Scoreboard control is right here, so the Jumbotron, everything on the Jumbotron basically is scripted. So if you've been to a game, you know that they show an ad at the same time that the PA announcer is talking about that ad. That's all got to be very well synchronized with a script. We're not going to go into the Shively Media Center area. We're going to go up some steps. April will catch up here. But it's a tiered area. It's a tiered area for all of the media that come in. So there's in fact, there's the stats from the game. The final stats are still on the screen by the game participation crew. This is where the folks sit. There's 3 of them. They actually have binoculars. One guy is making sure that they give credit for tackles, yards gained. They compute how many yards gained when there's a punt, how many yards we're going. And then the announcement is made by pressing an intercom button right here to all the media that are here, when it happened and what happened, so they all have the same information at the same time. And then at the end of each of the quarters, they actually produce a game sheet, a game summary. But all the seats are assigned, and as we looked around this morning, we had to be impressed with some of the seats that we assigned for this past game. And you might recognize some of these professional teams. So the Bears looks like they had 2 scouts here for the game, 3 scouts. Maybe the Colts were here, and on it goes. And so all the media have assigned seats up here, for during the game. Again, a spectacular view. And these windows do open up, and so you get the full effect of the crowd noise. Wonderful view of the field from up here. And right across the way, you can see the lights. Lights were actually added in 2017. I think it was the late 80s when the Big Ten decided to start having night games. And we used to bring in portable lights. Some of you may recall that. Portable lights they would bring in every game. It became very costly. And so finally they started requiring all schools to have their own lights. And so those came in last year. And if you look over at the scoreboard, you can see in the distance the W flag that is flying, denoting the win. It was a win in Ross Ade Stadium, and so it's always wonderful to see the W flying over there. We're now going to make our way back out. Careful of the steps as we get back out in the hallway of the media center. It's always interesting to see all the variety of wires that are running down the corridor in the media center. Here's all the equipment for them down here. And this is the food area for the media. So all the media have food and beverage provided available for them before, during, and after the games, because these are the fellows who really bring all the action to you, wherever you might be, TV or radio or whatever it might be. Just a wonderful setting. In fact, I want to end our broadcast with a beautiful setting. This is looking out the south window. Beautiful view of campus. If you happen to be coming up Russell Street here and you look at the stadium, just below this window there's a motion P. So in terms of a point of reference, this is the window that's right above that. Just a gorgeous view of our beautiful campus, Cary Quad, and the wonderful smokestacks, little chimneys that were working at the time that it opened. That's sort of just a excellent view of the campus that we're so proud of. And so that's kind of a quick view of Ross Ade Stadium and the pavilion, formerly the press box. But the pavilion, when it was opened up in 2003, it really kind of brought us into the modern age. We hope you'll think about some of those luxury suites sometime and maybe have an opportunity to visit and be a part of that game experience. It's a completely different experience and really something worth a shot. So we hope you'll enjoy this one. In 2 weeks we'll be coming to you from back on campus, and we'll be featuring the Reamer Club in that particular presentation. So we hope to see you then. On behalf of April, hail Purdue.